Steve here.
Yeah, Lars.
And welcome back to Going In Raw Overrun. Thanks to everybody out there supporting us and watching Overrun right now. And any new patrons out there watching this, welcome.
Welcome.
And thank you very much for your support. Hopefully, you'll find this to be a worthwhile investment in Going In Raw. Tomorrow, we're going to do our Mandalorian review, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
And then on Thursday, bonus episode,
be gaming something.
I'm gonna leave it up to you, man. I've set up a couple different things.
Do you have GTA in there with the casino?
I do.
Then we're doing that.
Okay, but hold on a second. Don't rush.
I don't think anything else about it.
Shoe creator. I started to make it. Yes, I started to make a shoe yesterday. I think you'll be you'll be very interested in shoe creation.
Let's leave it up to the chat here. Do you want to see Larson create shoe or me gamble away all of Steve's fake money?
I've got like almost $2 million.
You have. Let's see if that remains in the current or past tense.
We can also play some Fortnite.
Not interested.
I feel like the Fortnite episode should maybe be like when we do the free week. Like if we relaunch the Patreon.
I also feel like I'm gonna need a lot of beer to do that one.
Yeah, okay. Drunken Fortnite. That could be a thing. That could bring in a lot of new patrons.
Drunk night.
Yeah, drunk night. Fort drunk. Or what else do I have?
Well, let me ask you this: is there a half hour's worth of content out of me making a shoe?
Look. Here's the thing. As long as it's quality, it doesn't have to be quantity.
Well, I know, but
if it takes you
30 minutes,
if it takes you 15 minutes to make a shoe, which I think it'd be longer than that.
Okay.
If it takes you 15 minutes to make a shoe, if it's a good quality thing, like for example, and I'm not looking to do a lot of editing on bonus episodes, but when I was trying to break 2K20, I did like a 7-minute episode. It was all cut. Just the stuff that was glitchy. Yeah. That, in my opinion, is superior to just 30 minutes of just gameplay.
Yeah.
So it's all about quality.
All right,
that's what we're trying to offer here.
Fair enough.
So 15 minutes, you get like a really good shoe. Then that's a good episode right there.
Patrick Sparks says, I want edible reviews. I just had some weird mishmash of lentils and 2 different types of chicken with 2 different types of pasta with pesto and bruschetta in it. So this is what I had at home to put together.
Dude, that's not what he's talking about.
Oh.
He is clearly talking about us getting high off of food products.
Oh, I thought you just meant food.
Infused with marijuana. Probably not going to do that.
No.
I'll be honest with you.
Kind of not my thing.
And then Tim here suggests, let me FaceTime for 30 minutes.
That's a great idea.
No. That's a terrible idea, Tim. And he's always, like these days, he's like shirtless. He's probably bottomless, to be honest with you, when he FaceTimes us.
Well, I mean...
Tim Spulek says, will your Mandalorian review have spoilers? I think it probably should, right? Like, you're going to watch it.
Yeah.
There's no, I'll be honest with you. So I'll put it this way.
It's all set up, I would imagine.
There's one big twist at the end which sets it up.
All right.
I'm going to say twist. You just know what's the big deal.
There's a story beat that happens.
We'll not talk about that.
All right.
We'll not talk about that. I did have a smile throughout most of this. And mainly it's just talking about the little things like how cool it is to see Werner Herzog, Carl Weathers, et cetera, et cetera. We'll do that tomorrow. It's largely spoiler free. We'll just give our impressions about it.
I think more than anything, I want to see if it captures the magic that I recall from my youth of the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm. Philly Flexer said, "Can we spend 30 minutes coaching Slow Wolfpack through a game?" I got a win recently. It's team chemistry.
What's your record right now?
I might be a game under 500.
How many games in?
About 10 games in.
All right, early in the season yet?
Yeah.
You playing full 82 games?
It's still early. Yeah.
And assuming playoffs, if you get that far?
Oh, I'm making the playoffs. For sure. I think there's a category for sim through win. So if things get so dire. Anyways. Now, see, here's the thing about the Slow Wolfpack. The point of it is my development as an NBA 2K player.
Well, if that's the case, then playoffs shouldn't be the goal. It should be self-betterment.
Yeah, that's true.
And
but
if
I feel
playoffs
like
happen, then that's a reflection that you've gotten better at the game.
Yeah. A lot of it, I think, is just me getting really upset. Like, you get to hear me say fuck a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Ryan in here says, Slow Wolfpack 8th seed. Yeah, 8th seed swept 3-0.
Oh, man. But anyways,
wow, Jimmy Thomas has a problem with Slow Wolfpack. It's bad front office.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you can Well, my bench is kind of crap, to be honest with you.
Who's your sixth man?
Right now, which is going to be changed very shortly, is Vanilla Thunder.
Yeah.
I had him legally change his name from Jason Williams to Vanilla Thunder.
You should get Ricky Pierce, sixth man.
Was Jason Williams ever good at shooting?
I mean,
Because he's not in the game.
He would make an occasional three.
Right. I feel like he threw up a lot.
Yeah. I wouldn't go so far as to call him a chucker.
Yeah.
And he would make an occasional three.
He'd always be the first person down the court.
Yeah, he
the
was
ball.
pretty fast.
He's a really good passer.
He was
But
a
I
great
can't. I don't know how to do
passer.
fancy passes. Anyways, let's dive into this man.
All right.
You mentioned this off camera. We're figuring out what juicy topics to
Well, it's all
tackle
over
here
Twitter,
on
so it's on the
Overrun.
brain.
Okay, well, good. Regardless of how you found it, you found out even WWE.com had this. It was 1 year ago today
Yeah, it's kind of a huge deal.
that Becky Lynch and Team SmackDown invaded Raw
Yeah.
in advance of the big brand v brand. Only time during the year that brands go head to head in combat or whatever they call it.
Jimmy Thomas.
In-ring
Steve is
action.
the James Dolan of 2K. Wow.
Oh, that's fine. I'm trying to become who is the GM of the Spurs? Does Popovich have that much power?
He's in the player. He's up there, but
Dolan
it's,
is the owner. Who's the owner of the Spurs?
That I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm that guy.
Buford's,
I want it. That's why.
Buford's the last name.
Yeah,
Think of the
okay,
guy
yeah.
That's like head of player.
I'm aiming to be Buford.
Right.
But no, I'm
RJ
hey,
Buford, is that his name?
that's fine. If I'm Dolan, I'm Dolan. I'm trying to get better. Anyways,
If only Dolan had that attitude.
yeah, Latrell Sprewell, he was also a six man for a while.
Get Ricky Pierce.
Ricky Pierce.
Legendary sixth man. I think he won sixth man of the year several times.
Yeah.
He's instant offense off the bench, man.
I need Larry Bird. I think Larry Bird will
You can
solve
have Larry
all my
Bird
problems.
be your sixth man.
Who's? Oh, I want to trade. No, I want Scottie Pippen off. I'm gonna get Larry Bird. Yeah.
It might cause some issues for you, the defensive end.
Oh no. Anyways, let's move. We're talking about Becky Lynch. We're not talking about NBA right now.
I mean, you brought it up, so.
And then I moved on, and then you brought it up again. Anyways, moving on. So it's been 1 year. Of course, at the time, it was a really great moment. Nia Jax shoot punched.
Cold cocked.
Yeah, dope fiend. Becky Lynch right in the face.
Yeah.
In the nose area.
Busted her face up a bit, concussed her. It was like a week away from Survivor Series, roughly.
Yeah, it was really close.
And so we got this great moment of the show closing with Becky up in the stands, a SmackDown shirt on, blood running down her face, arms spread wide, talking trash to Ronda Rousey, who was in the ring. Because this is in advance of what was supposed to be a champion versus champion match, Ronda versus Becky Lynch. And if this match had happened as scheduled, probably wouldn't have gotten the main event of WrestleMania that we did. Because I don't think that was in the works.
Again, WWE works best when accidents happen and people get injured on accident.
Yes.
And planes don't take off.
So this was really the crystallization, the moment in time where it was firmly established that Becky was, that the man just wasn't a nickname, that she was the face of the company.
Yep.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
Because she had taken, and with the fans' full backing, she had taken what is supposed to be a heel turn and pivoted into a tweener thing that we hadn't seen since like the days of Stone Cold, probably.
Mm-hmm. And that heel turn had only taken place in August? Was SummerSlam?
Yeah, SummerSlam,
Right?
yeah,
SummerSlam.
3 months prior.
So it had not been long.
No. And while that match at Survivor Series, that 1-on-1 match with Ronda didn't happen, it's probably all for the best. Because she did get a main event WrestleMania with Ronda and Charlotte. And that image, that moment, is going to go down in the annals of wrestling history as one of the greats. Standing up there, bloody, concussed, nonetheless, talking trash to Ronda.
Yeah.
It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, it was really, really good stuff. And then, of course, at the time, we thought, okay, well, where does she go from here? I forget if we did like a news brief or probably just did in the normal course of our podcast. We talked about it. I think we had both speculated at the time, man, if she can't do it, because I think it might have been one of those weird things where we're on air and then they confirm while we're on air.
Yeah.
That seems familiar, like that might have happened.
That happens a lot.
That match was off. And so, immediately it came to, if you start putting the pieces together, this could be a really good thing because she's going to get that main event at Mania as opposed to Survivor Series, and they will probably put that in the main event. That is huge.
Yep.
That is absolutely huge.
Yep.
She was so hot at the time. I kind of think, given that we got the triple threat at Mania, maybe the singles match would have gone down at Survivor Series and they would have expanded it to a triple threat, but it still wouldn't have been. They did, look, regardless of how, and we're going to talk about it in a second, how it was built with her persistent leg injury.
Yeah, and then the WWE management trying to get her out of the title opportunity.
And then Ronda Rousey doing her weird, vlogging with, extreme profanity.
Heel turn thing.
Right.
It's all fake.
So it was a bit wonky by the end, especially thanks to that awesome segment with the cops and Ronda and Charlotte and Becky all trying to go after each other.
Yeah, that was great.
In the end, the main event of WrestleMania was, regardless, there was that little botchy sort of feeling finish. Going into it felt like big fight.
Yeah.
It felt like a big moment. They had successfully kept them sort of away from each other for a long enough time and through enough beats.
Yeah, Becky hadn't really had very many matches between
Right.
Rumble and Mania.
So by the time we got to Mania, it all felt like big fight feel.
Yeah.
Even at the Royal Rumble in between Mania and Survivor Series, Becky Lynch ended up getting pinned. Was it a pin from Asuka?
Yeah.
So she
she tapped.
She tapped? Okay.
I believe she tapped.
She went into TLC, and then Asuka won that title there, which was a big moment for Asuka in that great the TLC match after Ronda Rousey pushed the ladder that Becky and Charlotte were on. That was really fantastic for Asuka. And then at the Royal Rumble, Lynch tapped to Asuka, but then later that night took advantage of an injured Lana, took her spot in the Rumble, won the Rumble. So she got all that stank back that she had lost to Asuka. And, Asuka was still a pretty strong opponent. So I don't think too many people were like, oh, man, she just lost to Asuka. It was like, that's Asuka. She's like a big deal.
Yeah, she is a huge deal.
So that all went down, and the WrestleMania match, of course, was pretty great. After WrestleMania, look, at this point, Becky Lynch is probably still, if not the top, definitely the top 2 or 3 marketable stars in the WWE. She was all over the SmackDown on Fox stuff, even though she ended up staying on Raw, which we both figured she probably would, because Rollins wasn't going anywhere, and they're a thing.
Yeah.
So after Mania, they ended up putting her in a thing with Lacey Evans. Kind of beneath Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
So that wasn't
a situation where Lacey wasn't ready for that type of feud. There was no build, and she's instantly inserted into the title picture. But she wasn't ready for it yet.
It's funny how often WWE will do that. They'll have a big moment, a big championship moment, and then right after that, they kind of drop a bit of a turd.
Well, it's the way with Daniel Bryan, too. I understand if he won the title, his first feud after that was with Kane. I understand they have history with Team Hell No, but Daniel Bryan was coming off such a high, being Triple H, Batista, and Orton all in the same night, that, Kane's a certain Hall of Famer, granted had history with Daniel Bryan. It's not a feud that'll allow Daniel Bryan to build additional momentum.
Yeah.
It's the spinning of the wheels feud.
Yeah.
That Daniel Bryan is going to come out ahead.
Yeah. And Lacey Evans, I believe at the time, was still doing the walking out, going back, the Grandpa Simpson thing.
Yeah.
Was she doing that in advance of WrestleMania? She had been doing that for a while.
Yeah, she'd been doing that for months.
And then the final payoff for that was her coming out and cold cocking Becky or something like that. Of course, Flair ended up winning that whole thing. I'm sorry, Becky Lynch ended up winning that whole thing. And now they're sort of in a thing with the 4 horsewomen. Sasha, after she came back after months and months and months after WrestleMania, Bayley's got a new lease on life with her heel turn, and then Charlotte is just Charlotte. She just sort of seemingly does whatever she wants.
She's the Randy Orton of the women's division.
She is the Randy Orton of the women's division. It looks like, it wouldn't surprise me. Now, I think it probably could go any number of ways, but it wouldn't surprise me if the 4 horsewomen main event at WrestleMania this coming year.
Well, I think that's probably the odds-on favorite for the match to happen, whether main events or not. It's kind of up in the air, especially if both the titles are on the line. There's going to be a lot of similarities between the two matches year after year. Not that it's necessarily a deterrent per se.
I think also the potential stories, like the Fiend is really hot right now, so he could potentially main event. Brock is back as champion, and it's not just another retread. Like, it's not just going to get the title off and put it on Seth
Or Roman.
Like, they could do, or Roman. They could do something cool with Brock.
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens. I mean, that's a potential main event right there if they build it right.
Yeah.
So there's any number of ways they could go in terms of a main event. They could also bring in an outside star, kind of the way they did with Cain Velasquez in this last thing, but who knows when he's going to be wrestling again, and he didn't exactly have all sorts of like celebrity power behind him. I mean, Ronda could get involved at Survivor Series and get involved somehow in the main event
it's
in
possible.
WrestleMania. If Ronda's involved, it's almost certainly going to be in the main event.
Yeah, it's a better chance of that, yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, Becky has been booked as good as or better than pretty much anybody else on the roster since WrestleMania. That ain't saying much because creative is usually lacking.
They did take some of the edges off her character. She's like totally cool with kind of pandering to the crowd a little bit.
Yeah.
But beyond that, she still, she just said on Raw about talking trash and slapping heads, which at its heart is what Becky is what people want to see Becky do, is to go out there, talk trash, and fight.
Yeah.
And as long as they ever do that, she'll be okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
So yeah, I think 1 year on, if we were to look ahead and say, okay, well, this is where she's going to be in 2019, I think it's a pretty big success. Yeah. I mean, given how front and center she always is with the company, still Raw Women's Champion. I do still kind of think that the Becky 2 belts thing, she dropped that SmackDown title
early. They really shouldn't think where everybody was gunning after her, and it got to the point where she just got worn out.
Yeah.
But that would make her much more relatable, and WWE doesn't do relatable terribly well.
No, they don't. Vince is not the most relatable person.
He seems to be the most unrelatable person.
He's absolutely bizarre.
He's a different kind of human being than most of us. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, the only stumble she's really had is shacking up with Seth Rollins. Bad idea on her part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do laugh that they thought that was going to be appealing.
I know.
For a short period of time.
Like, here, let's highlight a real life romance.
Yeah, and Becky looked thoroughly, and she was like, "This is career suicide." She had it all over her face. Seth did not. Seth was always very tickled by that. He was always like, "Oh, the whole time. Everybody, look at our love."
I'm so in love with this woman.
And Becky was like, "This is career suicide.
Like, this is character assassination right here.
This is character assassination.
You're burying me, Seth.
Exactly.
You're burying my character."
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, that's Becky Lynch 1 year later after her Stone Cold moment. Where was speaking of which? So 1 year after, let's do some compare and contrasting, shall we? Let's look at Stone Cold 1 year after his
Austin 316 moment, or which moment do you want?
His bloody moment.
The Bret Hart 13.
Oh my God! So yeah, 1 year later,
he was WWE champion.
He was literally that was like literally the hottest he ever was. So that was, I mean, that's when things were firing on a lot of cylinders right there, because he was just deep in that McMahon feud. A lot of good things. Let's see here. Stone Cold.
Well, actually, the McMahon feud didn't really kick off in earnest until afterwards. He won the belt.
Yeah. Let's see here. Survivor Series. Yeah. SummerSlam.
He'd had some run-ins with Vince, but nowhere near to the effect of what it would become.
I'm looking for WrestleMania earlier here.
On 13?
Yeah. That's right. Come on now. Where am I? In your house. WrestleMania 13. Here we go. So right after WrestleMania 13, let's see here. We had he eventually got revenge on Bret Hart in the main event of In Your House 14, Revenge of the Taker, defeating Bret Hart in a match to determine the number one contender to Undertaker's WWF World Championship. Austin won when Hart was disqualified due to assistance from the British Bulldog. He got a match against Taker at In Your House 15, Cold Day in Hell. Austin faced Hart once again. Well, how did this match happen?
He didn't win, obviously, because he didn't get the championship.
Right. The Undertaker defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just straight up?
Yeah,
wow.
pinned him. Stone Cold lost his fair share of matches in that spell.
So that was an In Your House 15. So I don't know. I feel like in the year afterwards, like until we got to like the Rumble, I guess, that's when Stone Cold's really, because he won the Rumble that year to get his title shot at 14. Okay, so during that year, he had that tag run with Shawn Michaels.
They had a match at SummerSlam against each other. King of the Ring, one of the two. SummerSlam is when he hurt his neck against Owen Hart.
At Cold Day in Hell. Okay, so here we go. At Cold Day in Hell, Austin had The Undertaker down with the stunner, but distracted by timely interference on the part of Brian Pillman. Undertaker then hit Austin with a tombstone piledriver and got the victory. So he still got pinned. Let's see here. So, yeah, he had the tag run with
HBK. Hurt his neck against Owen. Was out for a few months. Came back at Survivor Series, I believe. Defeated Owen there in short order. Won the Intercontinental title back. Had a brief little feud with The Rock, I believe. So he threw it into the river.
So it was during that time that he busted his neck.
And then won the
Rumble. Then when he came back from that, he was hotter than ever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there was a lot of ups and downs there. He was doing a lot of stuff though.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. That's right. All that stuff with The Rock and the river, you're right. Austin defeated The Rock there. D-Generation X in Your House.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then after Bret Hart left.
Well, you know.
Yeah, and then he eliminated The Rock in the end of the Royal Rumble.
They screwed me out of the title.
And the next night, Austin interrupted Vince McMahon in the presentation of Mike Tyson, and then history was made.
From there,
so, I mean, honestly, like it took a little while. I mean, yeah, he was on the ascent. I mean, to me, that's sort of indicative of, creatively speaking, like they knew Austin was hot. But they booked him in kind of a roller coaster ride.
They took their time with it. They didn't push him straight to the moon because he was still, when he won King of the Ring in '96, he was still relatively new with the company.
When you have people lose, and I maintain that's one reason why Matt Riddle, I think, is just going to keep on getting more popular because he takes losses from time to time.
Yeah.
And it just makes him more relatable. He's already supremely relatable. Everybody knows that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think once it's Matt Riddle's time to be NXT champion, if they go that road, I think it's going to be huge.
It is going to be huge, bro. Oh,
he's great. Oh no. And then of course he's going to defend his NXT title against Goldberg.
Yeah.
In the main event of WrestleMania.
He's going to defeat Goldberg in a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyways.
Philly Flexer asks, why do a 4-way we can have two big matches and keep them separate?
Oh, like with the horsewomen?
There's the collective group, the 4 horsewomen. They haven't had a match, a four-way match, I don't think, since they were in NXT.
We've seen a lot of every combination, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen a lot of Charlotte and Sasha a couple of years ago.
Charlotte and Becky, we've seen endlessly. We haven't seen much Sasha and Bayley on the main roster. I don't think we've seen that really at all.
The problem is if you go there, you have to go Charlotte, Becky. And
which you've seen tons.
Which is like the same as putting Orton in there with Cena.
Which may happen again.
Which might happen again, and I'd actually be into that because they're old now and like they both don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They would have a lot of fun, I think.
One would hope, yes.
Yeah. Did you see Cena's response to Randy Orton?
It's so diplomatic.
It is. I don't make the matches. I just go in and I do
my job. Yeah, do my job. I don't plan on missing WrestleMania this year.
What the heck, man?
But then
kayfabe, brother.
Not that long ago, he said he doesn't have any plans to return to wrestling anytime soon. So which one is it, John?
Let's talk about this really quick.
What?
So we've seen the trailer for Stone Cold.
Yeah.
The Undertaker. 2 hours.
That's cool.
2 hours. We thought it would be like an hour at most.
Yeah, max, man.
A 2-hour conversation with alcohol involved.
Yeah, there's booze involved, and Undertaker shoot my voice.
Why is it after that match you could have just walked away?
Oh man, to answer that question, I'm gonna need some of that right there. Close up on
shot of whiskey
being poured. All right, man. There were dead bodies laying everywhere, whatever he said. I was going down the river Stygian.
So weird hearing his shoot voice.
I know. He's got like a smile on his face.
Uh-huh. He seems happy. Not used to these things from Undertaker.
They're all laughing. And he's like, I don't want that to be the last thing they see of me. I want my legacy to be putting people down like dogs.
The dead man.
The dead man. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
gonna
one
be fun.
friendo was like asked, hey, is there any ways you guys can do like a live walkthrough? I'm like, dude,
That's right after Survivor Series.
that's like another 2 hours on top of. Look, I know WWE's been doing these 3.5 hour pay-per-views. I don't think it's not possible for Survivor Series to be 3.5 hours. I don't think that's possible.
They said they're planning on that to air at roughly 10:30 Eastern. It should be 7:30 our time. So if the show starts at 4, that's a 3.5 hour show. So that's seemingly what they're planning on happening.
I'd be shocked. I would be shocked. I mean, I think that's for the best, man. Give me just a killer 15-minute
I know.
AJ
To the
versus
point.
Shinsuke versus
Roddy Strong.
yeah. So that could be good. Anyways, Rich Nason, that sounds bad, man.
Yeah, it does sound bad, Rich. Sorry to hear that, man.
Sorry to hear that. So yeah, if you guys have any questions now, we'll open it up for these last 5 minutes.
Now is the time.
Now is the time.
I have a guitar here. I can take some requests.
What
Like
questions?
in the olden days. We used to do it at your house.
Yeah. What questions do you want Stone Cold to ask the Undertaker? Now that we get a feel for what it is.
You know what I want asked. Did Sid shit his pants?
Let me ask you something, Mark.
That's all I care about, really.
I went back. I was watching some of the library on the network, and I saw a match, and I heard a rumor that Psycho Sid Udy, shit his pants during your match with him. Is that true or false?
Well, let me tell you, Stone Cold, he dumped himself. We were wrestling in there, and all of a sudden, I smell this.
I smell a duty.
I smell the unmistakable odor of shit.
Of caca.
And I was like, who farted? And then Sid was like, I shit myself. And I was like, you're fucked up, man. We're having a match right here. How am I supposed to do a tombstone with your unders next to my nose?
Not just under, shitty under.
And I know you got some dookie in there. You really are the ruler of the world, Sid.
So, Jimmy Thomas, what old movie on Disney Plus are you going to rewatch with your kids? I want to rewatch Sword in the Stone.
Lacey's really into having Bama watch Robin Hood. She's been watching.
I love the animated Robin Hood, right?
Yeah.
I love that movie. It's a little slow, though.
Yeah, all those movies are back then. Mary Poppins, the original one.
Oh, we tried having our kids watch that. They were bored.
Bama's kind of into it, but Lacey's more into it than her. That's a fucking weird ass movie.
It is.
There's like one scene where like a bunch of bankers are talking to this little kid, talking about like what his future's gonna be like. And they're all talking these weird banking terms and stuff, and they're singing it.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. They all the people look weird in that movie.
Have you seen is it Bed Knobs and Broomsticks?
When I was a little kid, but I don't remember dick about it.
It's got a lot of animated stuff in there, like live action animated. I haven't seen it in years, but when I was a kid, I used to watch the Apple Dumpling Gang. Do you know what that is? I think it's Don Knotts and Tim Conway.
Oh, yeah,
It's like an Old West type thing. Whatever that's going to be on there.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Bama's like
Condor Man. That's the answer.
Condor Man. There you go. I wonder if that's on Disney Plus.
Terrible movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Bama just she'll like watch whatever we're watching. Like Lacey will put on like fucked up like Bama's really into celebrity ghost stories, which is weird. And then what was Lacey? Lacey was watching something, and it had a scene. She was like, "Well, it was a scary movie, but it was like a really slow burning one." And so there was a scene when like somebody puts like a baby in a microwave or something or an oven. And then Bam was like, Mom, what the heck is this? And she was like, oh my God, turn your eyes away.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a little kid, I saw RoboCop when I was
same
super
here.
young. So like, I don't know.
I watched Excalibur a lot when I was a
Is that a fucked up movie?
Yeah.
Is it? I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Was that with Sean Connery? No.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart's in it too.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Connery in there? Liam Neeson's in it. Sorry, not Sean Connery.
Oh, yeah. No, I never saw that one.
First Night is the King Arthur movie with Sean Connery.
Okay.
Yeah, Liam Neeson's in Excalibur. Patrick Stewart's in there.
What's like the most fucked up scene?
Well, where to start? There's all sorts of violence. There's incest angle going on in the movie.
But did you would you understand that?
No,
when you were a
that
kid?
part I didn't know. The violence I got.
Well, yeah, people's heads coming off. Yeah.
But the incest stuff, no, I had no comprehension of that. It wasn't until I was an adult watching it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Can't believe that I watched this movie a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's really messed up.
That's dope. Ryan asks, what's your favorite guilty pleasure TV show?
I don't really get to watch a whole lot of TV.
Yeah, I try to make it count when I do. I mean, oh no, mine's easy. That's easy. Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh, yeah.
That's on Pluto TV. It just runs and runs and runs.
Triple D, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dive.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
If I'm not doing anything Friday night when they're running it all night, I'll just sit there and watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. I also like the History Channel when they do like
You like Ancient Aliens. You love that guy.
No, I don't. But I was kind of excited when Bama wanted to watch it. She was like, "Ooh, aliens," and I was like, "Okay, cool. I kind of want to check. I like cheesy stuff." But no. So like, did you ever see The Men Who Built America? Okay. So they have like these.
I know it is, but yeah.
Okay, and they do like reenact. It's all reenactment, and then there's some like footage and stuff. But they did the same thing, and I never saw this one. They did the same thing, I think maybe recently with the it's just called The World Wars, and it's all like reenactment stuff. But they do a pretty good job with it.
Yeah,
like they do a pretty decent job with it, and I like that stuff. Anyways, that's it for now. We got some stuff to do. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.